If I want to fly from a larger flying site, I'm going to have to drive farther now, as the corn is coming up where I had been flying 20 miles away. So I've been doing some short test flights closer to home. This field, probably just a mile and a half away, has some tall grass, but it's really not very large. You got that building on one side, and out ahead there's a small lake. I increased the prop size of my world record holder, and also I had an issue with the RDT, which I think I have fixed now. One day it had rather strong wind in the morning. It settled down, and I had some really good RC sailplane flying from here with thermals that were really consistent. Yet they didn't take my sailplane really high. I got to thinking more about the world record holder and how Dick Horta was able to watch it for so long to make a 54-minute flight. I flew my original BK ROG, and I had put a light quarter-inch square balsa piece, and then I had laminated on a 1/16, but that still wasn't rigid enough. With the fuselage bowed, it dived in the ground at the beginning of the flight, so I put a piece of carbon on the top, and now it's plenty rigid. On my second BK ROG, I used a heavier piece of quarter and then laminated, and that hasn't been an issue. I also put an 8-inch prop on the original, and that seems to be ideal. The second plane hasn't had the bending problem, but I moved the hook up a couple of inches, and the balsa was stiffer too. In a recent morning, there was like a 60% chance of rain, but it never rained, but it was like super still, which really is good for test flying because you can really observe the plane because it doesn't get out very far. The one thing I've been trying to observe is when the plane goes into freewheel, if it keeps freewheeling or if the prop stops, because I think when the prop stops, it tends to make the plane go into more of a circular spiral to the right. Flying with wind this low, it seemed almost like flying indoors, but you got an unlimited high ceiling. I brought along my J&H Aerospace Pinna II. It's a nice little model that really climbs high when you put in 1,000 turns. It could fly for at least a half a minute or more with no thermal help, and then it would land just really close to myself. I noticed on other YouTube videos people flying like rubber scale models in some pretty small sites. And if the wind is really low, it doesn't work just too bad, but it's sure nice to have more room for the model to drift. So I should be ready to take this model to a bigger field and really crank it up.